Welcome to our special event. TMC presents a Battle Royale. I'm Miriam Florio, CRM Practice Manager here at Technology Management Concepts. I'll be your referee today. The much anticipated battle, Microsoft Dynamics 365 versus Salesforce.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Round 1, Accounts and Contacts. Let's dive right in. So I'm logged into Dynamics 365, and for today's battle, we'll be using sample data that comes out of the box with both systems with no configuration done. So what we'll be seeing is those out-of-the-box views that we're looking at. For instance, what you're seeing here in the columns are just the canned columns that come with Dynamics 365, but can be configured to show whatever you want to see. Same thing with Salesforce. So we're looking at the account view, and as you can see here, I have different views available to me. I can use the drop-down to change how I'm looking at the data. Let's say I want to look at all accounts instead of just active. I can select single or multiple records at once and perform actions at the top of the screen by choosing the buttons. Some notable differences are that I can actually show charts based on what I'm seeing here. I can use the ellipses here to actually run a Microsoft flow against the records, export the records, create a quick marketing campaign, or create a new view. So those are nice handy items. Let's take a look at an existing record inside of Dynamics 365. We'll go to the Fourth Coffee account. So the way that the screen is laid out here, I can see information about that account under the Summary tab, which it brings me to by default. Account information is shown on the left-hand side of the screen, so the primary information about the account is shown here, as well as address information, and you can see the map for it. In the middle is really the heart of the system, which is the timeline. The timeline includes activities, which are appointments, emails, phone calls, tasks, booking alerts, and customer voice alerts, as well as notes, which can be attachments, and posts. One nice thing about the timeline inside of Dynamics 365 is that I can actually perform a lot of actions here. I can search within the timeline for keywords or information. I can filter the timeline. So if I want to see particular information about this account, I could actually apply a filter here and show only certain record types, activity types, statuses, status reasons, or who posted them, if they're auto posts or by users. The other thing is under the ellipses, I can refresh my timeline as I'm on the screen. Instead of hitting my browser's refresh button, change the sort order, or show email conversations together, bundle those emails, or show them as individual messages. On the far right, I have my assistant to give me any notifications or suggestions. Let's say that I should follow up on a task that I have still outstanding for this account. It would show me or notify me here, show me the primary contact for the account. Any additional contacts would be listed under the contacts, the email, and the business phone number. The additional tabs across the top of the screen give me more information about that account. Details, assets and locations, servicing information like work orders, coordinates, accounts, billing, service, files associated with this record that are stored in SharePoint or OneDrive will be shown here, and related information such as activities, social profiles, contacts, connections, audit history, entitlements, playbooks, quotes, orders, geo-fences, contacts, functional locations, a lot of information, invoices, etc. So there's a lot of items and related field service information that you can see regarding this account. Let's take a look at contacts. So I'm looking at my active contacts, and as you can see here, I have a list of those contacts in CRM. I'll click on Susan Burke. And the way the screen is laid out is similar to the account screen. I have summary information about that contact at the account, Susan Burke, address information, the timeline associated with specifically Susan Burke at the account. So that includes any phone calls, emails, appointments, tasks, notes, attachments, etc. In the middle, my assistant, the company she's associated with, any sales opportunities that are linked to Susan, cases which are trouble tickets or issues, entitlements for service, as well as additional tabs: details, scheduling information, files associated with Susan Burke, and related content. At the top of my screen for both accounts and contacts, I have action buttons. I can add Susan to a marketing list, assign this to another user, delete the record if I have the rights, create a connection, deactivate Susan if she's no longer at this company, and also other items under the ellipses, which includes Microsoft Flow actions that I can create and associate with the contact or the account. So I'm logged into SalesForce and I'm looking at the accounts view, which I can change to show me a different view. And as you can see here, it lists out the accounts. I'm going to click on an account to drill into the record. So when I pull up an account record inside of SalesForce, I can see the basic information at the top of the screen, like the phone number, billing address, website, and the account owner or sales representative. Underneath that, I can see related information and quick links. So related contacts, opportunities, notes, etc. are all listed inside of this area. Beneath that are related contacts, opportunities, campaign influence, contracts, cases, which are trouble tickets or issues, or notes. If I scroll back up on the far right, I can see the activities. So those touch points or interactions that you have with your account records inside of CRM. So I can add records from here. I can view upcoming and overdue at the top and view more, and then see additional information listed. So what those activity types are going to be emails, events, list email, logged calls, and tasks. I can also filter those by all time, next 7 days, last 7 days, last 30 days, and then filter by all activities or only my own that I'm looking at. I can also add a quick phone call by typing in this box here and clicking add. I do see that there's no quick way to add a document here as I had with Dynamics 365, but I can add a new task, a new event, or a new email by clicking on the tabs at the top of the screen. I also have a chatter box, which I can view posts or auto-created items inside of here. If I look at the Details tab, which is the second tab on the left, I can see additional information about that account. If I scroll down, I can see the account summary, which gives me a graphic, address information, system information, like who the record was created by, last modified by, custom links that are showing at the bottom, which include Google searches, news, and maps. And then I have the News tab, so I can view information that's coming from Twitter inside of the record, as well as some industry news. Keep in mind that Dynamics 365 has LinkedIn integration and insights also available on those records. Now let's take a look at contacts. So I'm clicking on the contacts view, and it's the same as the accounts view. We'll click on a record to take us for more information. So as I'm focused on Leanne Tomlin, I can see this contact information, basic information at the very top of the screen, as well as related information below it. So I can see those quick links that we saw in the account record, quick links to opportunities, related accounts to this contact, files associated, notes, cases or trouble tickets or issues. And then as I scroll down, I can see the opportunities that are associated, those actual accounts, the files, the notes, the cases. So those quick links take me down to the bottom here. Same activity that we see on the account record, as well as that chatter box. If I click on the second tab here, I see additional details about the contact, address information, and that system information. Lastly, we have that News tab that we saw in there before, which links us to Twitter and industry news. Now, one thing that I notice that's different between Salesforce and Dynamics 365 is that when I want to edit information in Salesforce, I have to actually click on an edit button to the right of what I'm editing. So if I want to edit her email, for example, I'm going to click the little pencil, and then that brings me into an edit mode where I can make changes and then save the changes. Let's take a look at editing inside of Dynamics 365. So when I'm on a record inside of Dynamics 365, I'm already in an edit mode. I don't need to actually explicitly click on anything in order to edit the record. I can actually just click into what I want to edit. Let's say I want to change the job title. I can simply change it, click away. The screen will auto-save for me, or I can explicitly save by clicking on Save. Another big difference is the ability to add a contact to a marketing campaign. So as I'm on a record inside of Salesforce, I don't have a lot of those action buttons that I find in Dynamics 365 at the top of the screen. I do have some options here. I can follow a record. I can go into an edit mode, delete the record, clone the record, or add a new note. Inside of Dynamics 365, I can actually perform some additional actions here like that deactivate, connecting the record or creating a connection, adding that contact to a marketing list, reassigning it to a new or different user, emailing a link to this particular page in CRM to another user, deleting it, refreshing it, and performing a lot of other additional actions here on the right. Another notable difference is just the way that things are laid out. So as I'm looking at a contact or an account inside of Salesforce, it's really a top to bottom layout. So what I'm doing is I'm scrolling a lot. And right now there's not a ton of information on the screen, but you can imagine that once there are a lot of interactions or touch points, associated records with a particular contact or account, you'll be scrolling down your page a lot to view things. Inside of Dynamics 365, it's more of a left to right order with minimal scrolling. So as you can see here, there's not a lot of information really at the bottom of the screen. It's really what I'm looking at, the contact information timeline, and then the associated information on the right, and I'm using the tabs to see additional information that's related to the contact. So it's just a different look and feel. I particularly don't like scrolling down a lot, so this particular setup is more appealing to me, but it's really your personal preference. So for this battle, I think we all know who the winner is. It's a knockout. Dynamics 365 wins this round. Round 2, leads and opportunities. So we're logged into Dynamics 365, and I'm just starting off at the dashboard, which gives me the sales activity dashboard showing me my open sales opportunities, my goals for this period, my open leads, my open opportunities, my closed opportunities, and of course, a list view of my activities that are associated with these sales. Let's take a look at leads first. So I'm brought to my list view of open leads. Of course, I can change my view and view the data a little differently, but going to my open leads makes sense first because I want to work on those open leads and not the closed ones. So we'll click into a lead, Deborah Garcia. And as we're focused on this lead, you can see lead information like the contact details, the company details, the timeline that we saw in the accounts and contacts, same layout you'll see on the lead records, as well as the assistant, any key stakeholders, competitors that we're working against, all associated on this lead record. At the very top of the screen, you'll see a business process flow, which is really telling us information about the sales cycle for this particular lead. So what are those steps that we take in order to close the sale? In Dynamics 365, you can have more than one type of business process flow associated with leads. For example, you may have one business process flow for leads that come in from the web and another business process flow for those that come in via a trade show. On the business process flows, at each stage, there are steps within the stage, and we can see here how long the stage has been active for. So those particular details are then inserted or added to the record and then move on to the next stage, which we can see are develop, propose, and then close. So let's actually look at the additional details before we move this lead over to an account contact and sales opportunity. Additional details about the lead are listed on the Details tab, marketing information, contact method preferences, files associated with the lead that are stored in OneDrive or SharePoint, and related information to the lead. So if we want to move this lead along the sales process, we can click on some of the buttons on the top of our screen, like Qualify to qualify the lead, Disqualify the lead. We can use the Process button to actually switch the process. So let's say this was a web lead and it was in the wrong business process flow. We could always switch to the correct one and put them into a different set of stages and steps within that process. If I'm a sales manager, I can reassign this lead to an individual and let them work on that lead, as well as share information and, of course, use that ellipses to run actions against the lead. So when we're ready to qualify this lead, let's say we call Deborah Garcia and we make contact with her and we think this is a qualified record, simply click on the Qualify button at the top of the screen, which then qualifies this lead, creating an account, contact, and opportunity. So the system will notify me if an associated matched account exists inside of CRM, which I can select, or I can choose to ignore and then create a new account. So I'm actually going to select that matching account record and click Continue. Once I'm notified that the lead was qualified, the process actually moves into the develop stage for me, which you can see it says it's been in for less than 1 minute. I'm looking at the sales opportunity now that's been created off of the lead record. So what that lead did was convert itself to a sales opportunity, create that contact in the system as well as an account. Leads are really just an infant level of contacts and accounts, and this is true for all CRM systems across the board. So as we can see on the opportunity record, let's just take a look at how this is laid out. And it's the same as leads, contacts, and accounts that we've looked at. Summary information on the left, as well as current situation where we can type in multi-line text and notes, customer needs, proposed solutions, the timeline. So what are those specific touch points or interactions that we've had regarding this particular sales opportunity? Now, each are going to be different based on whatever kind of project you're working on or the type of sale you're hoping to make, whether it's an existing customer or a new one, just like we created from this lead record. The opportunity process is always going to have that timeline and information associated with it. The assistant, key stakeholders involved in this process. So Deborah may not be the only contact that we're working with for this particular sale. We could have additional stakeholders. Our sales team that's associated, so you may have people in different departments working on the sales opportunities, and then the identification of competitors that are also associated with the sales opportunity. We can also add products. So CRM inside of Dynamics includes price lists, products, product families that we can associate with an opportunity by adding line items, as well as creating add-in line items or write-in line items on the fly. Formal quotes can be created inside of CRM that are associated with the sales opportunity, although you may just use the products tab and not go through the formal quoting process, just have those products associated with the opportunity itself. We also have the field service information tab with work order types, files associated with the opportunity on OneDrive or SharePoint or CRM, and related information. So again, we always see those related activities, connections, audit history, playbooks, or work orders. So as we look at the business process flow on the top of the screen, this may change based on the type of sales opportunity you're working on. You may have some sales opportunities that work in a matter of months or weeks, or maybe close immediately. And you may have those that are a longer cycle, have more information associated with them, more steps and processes. You can always switch the sales process associated with the opportunity or have those auto switch for you based on, let's say, a drop down here that says the type of sale that it is. We're currently in the develop stage, which shows us information about the opportunity that we need to capture in order to move to the next stage. So as you collect information regarding these sales opportunities by working through your list of open opportunities, which we'll look at in a minute, then you can move on to those next stages and then close the sales opportunity. I have the quick buttons at the top of my screen, like close as won, close as lost. So as I'm working on sales opportunities, I may just close this deal without needing to go through all the stages and steps that are associated with this business process flow at the top of the screen. I can choose close as won and enter information about that sale in order to close it. Alternatively, I can close a sale as lost. So as you can see here, there is a reason for the lost sale, which you can customize, the actual revenue that was lost for this opportunity, the close date, choose to associate this with a competitor for reporting purposes later, and a description of whatever you want to type in information regarding why this was lost. So I'm logged into SalesForce and I'm on my home screen, which is my sales dashboard, which shows me the quarterly performance, as well as my assistant that's letting me know when opportunities are overdue. I can perform actions directly on the right of this list by clicking edit, for example, and popping up the record, which is pretty nice. I can see my tasks for today, today's events, recent contacts, my accounts, and information regarding that account record. If I click on the leads, it brings me to the leads view. Let me change this to all open leads. And we can see here that we have leads that are in the system listed in this list format, as well as at-a-glance information that I'm looking at by viewing the list. Let's drill into one of these leads here. I'll choose David Adelson, and we can take a look at how this is laid out. So similar to the accounts and contacts inside of SalesForce, I can see the lead general information at the top of the screen, followed by the process by which we close a lead, which are those stages, and the details within those stages. So it's very similar to Dynamics 365, a little bit different of a look and feel, but I can see here as I click on a stage, the information in the key fields below it, updates or changes, and I can edit that information by clicking edit. So as I click into the new stage, for example, you can see here the company information, website industry, that little edit pencil that allows me to change the values, and then I can move into the different stages by clicking on them. Information about that lead is shown in the activity pane. So at the bottom here, I can see activity, log a call, create a new task, a new event, a new email, and then see that upcoming and overdue. Lets us know if there are any potential duplicates that are showing here on the right, quick links to any associated files or notes, a place where I can upload files easily and readily, and then also the notes section. So let's go ahead and progress this lead. We'll go to the converted stage here and select converted status, which brings me to the convert lead screen. So it's allowing me to create a new account. So I can just type in the name of the account, which it auto-filled for me, or I can choose an existing account. So it's a little different. I can create a new contact or choose an existing contact, create a new opportunity or choose an existing opportunity right here, and then set the record owner and converted status. So let's just go ahead and we'll create a new account. Let's just go ahead here and create a new account. The record owner I'll leave as me, and the converted status is qualified. So we'll select convert here, which will then tell us our lead has been converted, and these are the records that have been created. So we'll go ahead and click on the sales opportunity that was created, which brings us into the opportunity record. So again, the same as the lead process, we can see here that there are stages and steps or details within those stages beneath it. I have that activity at the bottom of the screen here. I have related list quick links. So as I hover over these, they show me those details, and you can see that information there. Campaign influence for marketing, contact roles, so I can have a primary contact role, but I could have additional roles or people associated. Just like we did in Dynamics, we could have more than one person that we're dealing with at Green Dot Publishing in order to close this sale. I also have the ability to add a quote for this particular sales opportunity, a formal quote, associate products with it. So I can add products and choose price book, add notes or files to this record. Now let's just go into the closed stage here. So as I click on the closed stage, I can choose select closed stage and give it a closed won or closed lost. Let's go ahead and click closed won and click save. Now there was no additional information that we entered there, so that's just, it closed the sale and there we go. It shows as closed as won, and of course would then reflect that in my reports and my dashboard. Let's change the close stage to close lost. So as you can see here, when I close a sale inside of SalesForce, it's either closed lost or closed won, and without prompting just closes those records out and puts those away outside of my open opportunities. So for the winner, Dynamics 365 versus SalesForce, we're actually going to call this one a draw. There are some nice features inside of SalesForce and Dynamics 365, and we can't find a clear winner on this one, so we'll move on to the next round. Round 3, Outlook integration. So I'm logged into Outlook and I have the Dynamics 365 add-in deployed. So it's open on the right-hand side of my screen and I have it pinned so that it stays open during my Outlook experience for the day. Now I've chosen a record for Gwen Ross where she already exists in our CRM. So you can see here that on the recipients of the email, we can see that Gwen Ross is already in CRM as a contact, which is showing by viewing this contact card. The email itself is not tracked against Gwen's record. Now, if there were other recipients, for example, other users at your company or other contacts in the system, they would all be listed here. From this actual pane, I can actually launch Dynamics 365 and view the record in full. So if I want to see more information or a lot of detail about Gwen's contact record, I could pop that open handily and see additional information about Gwen. So I could see details about her, phone number, address, etc., LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and add her to marketing lists, whatever I need to do. In order to track the email against Gwen's record or against a sales opportunity, whatever it may be, inside of Dynamics 365, I simply need to set the set regarding value. So the set regarding really means link to Dynamics 365, but where do you want to link it to? Now, oftentimes it's the contact, but sometimes if you're working on a particular sale for an account or contact, you might want to link it to that specifically so that when you look at that sale and you look at the timeline, you can see those emails associated with the sale. So I'll just actually type in Gwen's name here and we'll associate with Gwen Ross. I can see that that email is successfully tracked now inside of Dynamics 365. I can see the contact record there, tracked regarding, as well as a visual indicator with the blue symbol that that email is tracked. Now, any responses or replies to this email will also be tracked inside of Dynamics 365 because it has a tracking token on it. So even if the subject line changes, that email and its responses will show up on that contact record where I've tracked the message. Now you can do the same thing for tracking emails from your sent items or any other folders. Let's click on William Clay. Now William Clay is not a contact or lead or an account in our Dynamics 365, and I can tell that because it says unknown recipient. So in order to add William Clay to Dynamics 365, I can simply click the plus symbol on the bottom, add contact, add as lead, add as account. So we'll go ahead and add William as a lead, which will bring us to the quick create lead form. So this is a customizable form, and I can just say web lead or whatever that happens to be, put in additional information if I need to. It's auto-filled the information that it knows from the email, first name, last name, job title, whatever it can find, and I'll just put in company name here. So now the lead has been created. If I want to link that email to William Clay, I'll simply just type in William Clay here, and we'll associate that email with William's record. Now we could track the email without creating the lead, but generally it makes sense to follow this process. So let's just take a look at some other features inside of this plugin or add-in that's available to us. So let's say we're actually on the phone with William Clay, or we're looking at William Clay's email, but we want to create a task to follow up on a quote that we made for another customer. Well, I can do that without logging in explicitly into Dynamics 365 from the web by clicking the plus symbol. So the blue bar at the very top of the screen is independent of whatever email you've clicked on. It's just a way to use Dynamics 365 from Outlook. So I could create a new account, I could create a case. So let's say we get an email with a problem, I could create that case from that email, or just create a case in general. I could create a competitor, contact, knowledge article, lead, opportunity directly from here, as well as other activities like appointments, emails, phone calls, and tasks. Remember that tasks and appointments are linked back to Outlook and Dynamics 365 via Exchange. I can also do a global search inside of Dynamics 365. So I can look up, let's say, Gwen's record, or whatever else I'm looking for, and then it would give me a list of results inside of my Outlook add-in. Now, when I've clicked on Gwen's record, you can see here that it actually shows me exactly what it shows in Dynamics 365. It's just on an abbreviated form with an ellipses at the end. So I can see additional information by clicking on the ellipses and then choosing what I want to look at. Let's say it's documents, let's say it's activities. It might be easier to pop the record open, but depending on what you want to see, you can see that information on the various tabs here and by clicking through. I also have this little hamburger up here, which gives me a home button, a recent button, pinned items, and lets me go to dashboards if I need to see them. I have the SalesForce view, which is the Outlook integration add-in for SalesForce, open inside of Outlook. And as you can see here, it's on the right-hand side of my screen, exactly like Dynamics 365. I have it pinned to stay open so that it's open and available during my entire Outlook experience. I have Gwen Ross highlighted here, and as you can see, it does not find Gwen Ross inside of SalesForce. I can add her to SalesForce by clicking Add to SalesForce. And let's just see what our options here are. We have one less option here. We can add her as a new contact or a new lead. It doesn't say new account as an option, although when I click on, let's say, new contact, it will give me the option to associate her with an account. So I can always add her to an existing account inside of SalesForce. So it's auto-populated information that it knows about Gwen, so it's filled in her first name, her last name, her email address. I can add an additional information here or just click on Save. So now that person and the account is associated with this email. So now that person and account is associated with the email, I could then log the email by clicking Log Email, which allows me to select what I want to associate it with. So let's just say I'm going to choose Gwen here, and I'm going to let myself be associated with it, and then I'll go ahead and click on Save. Now, if I wanted to also associate it with Green Dot, I could do that, or I could search. So let's go ahead and click on Save. And now I can also see that there is a task button. So this just shows me tasks that I have for today. Just again, independent of the email, but just showing me what I have to do. Other features inside of the plugin or add-in are notifications. So it's just letting me know the work that I have to do that's been entered into SalesForce. I have the option to show this record in SalesForce, so I can click on that and it will prompt me, do I want to open this page? I'll say, go ahead and open. And then it opens it inside of my browser for me. So I've got the browser up and I can navigate over to my browser and then see it. I can also perform a search inside of SalesForce. So a global search here, I can just take a look and see what I can find inside of SalesForce. So let's just go ahead and search for Gwen Ross. You can see that the way that the information is displayed is directly on the drop down of the search. I could then click on that contact record and it would give me detail. So very similar, it's showing me that information. The tabs are at the top and it's the information that I would see directly on the SalesForce record. I also have the option to create items inside of Outlook. So I can create a new task, a new event, a new contact, a new opportunity, or a new lead. Notably, I don't have the ability to create a case, a trouble ticket or issue from Outlook, but the other items here do match as options that I have inside of Dynamics 365. Similar to the Outlook plugin for Dynamics, I do have a visual indicator showing me what emails have been tracked inside of SalesForce. So I can see here that gray color here is showing me that Gwen Ross's email has been tracked back to the record. I can use this plugin to work from my sent items as well as my inbox. So one big and notable difference between the plugins is the ability to add templates and what that can do. So when I'm responding to an email using the Dynamics 365 plugin, I can actually respond and insert information from Dynamics 365, such as a template. Let's say we have a template created with some literature on it, attachments that we want to send. We can actually add that template and then would insert that information as well as the attachment into the email. Now that email can also have fields that are dynamic, such as dear first name, and then inserting the company name, etc., into the email message. But those attachments on the template will then go onto the email, which is the big difference. I could also add sales literature or a knowledge article. Now, when we're using the SalesForce plugin or add-in, we have the ability to insert templates, but it will not insert attachments from those templates. Now, those attachments do work and exist inside of the web version, but will not work in the Outlook integration, which is a big flaw. We do not have the ability to add knowledge articles or sales literature directly, but just those email templates. So for this battle, I think we all know who the winner is. It's a knockout. Dynamics 365 wins this round. Round 4, customization and development. So if you plan to customize your system using custom coding, Dynamics 365 offers the ability to code in JavaScript, .NET, and HTML. SalesForce uses a proprietary language called Apex. So what this means for you is that development is usually going to be on the lower priced end with Dynamics 365 because the languages are common languages. You'll also have access to developers a lot easier because more people code in JavaScript, .NET, and HTML than only Apex that only SalesForce uses. So also if you have internal developers at your company, this is a big thing to note. So for this battle, I think we all know who the winner is. It's a knockout. Dynamics 365 wins this round. Round 5, pricing. Pricing can be extremely complicated to understand and review. We're going to look at the key features of comparable versions of licensing for Dynamics 365 and SalesForce. But before we dive in, let's look at the least expensive options on both ends. On the Dynamics 365 end, there is a team member license, which allows a read-only license for users that don't need to actually add any information to Dynamics 365, but just view it. SalesForce offers Lightning Essentials at $25 per user per month, which is an up to 5 user system and with very limited features. So the Sales Professional in Dynamics 365 at $65 per user per month is comparable to the Lightning Professional at $75 per user per month. However, there are some limitations to Lightning Professional. If you want something like workflows or a calendar, you're going to have to move up to the enterprise license in SalesForce in order to get that. The calendar and workflows are available in the Sales Professional version for Dynamics 365. The Sales Enterprise version of Dynamics 365 at $95 per user per month allows for additional integration connections and other configurable features that expand the professional license, we recommend this to most businesses. The Lightning Enterprise version, which is similar to Enterprise and Dynamics 365, is a whopping $150 per user per month with the similar features. Keep in mind that the SalesForce does offer Office integration with the Lightning Enterprise version, but it is an additional cost. The Sales Enterprise for Dynamics 365 already includes the Office integrations, which we'll look at in the next round. The customer engagement licensing, which is really sales plus customer service on both platforms, is $115 compared to $175 per user per month. So the costs of SalesForce are significantly higher at an average of 30% more from Dynamics 365. So for this battle, I think we all know who the winner is. It's a knockout. Dynamics 365 wins this round. Round 6, integrations. We're going to review native or out-of-the-box available integrations with Dynamics 365 versus SalesForce. Now, these are not paid integrations, but part of the standard platform. So let's take a look at the Dynamics 365 side. You do have the LinkedIn integration, which offers an upgraded license, Outlook, Microsoft Office, Teams, SharePoint, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, Business Central, and Dataverse. The native SalesForce integration includes Outlook. So for this battle, I think we all know who the winner is. It's a knockout. Dynamics 365 wins this round. And the winner. Did you even have a question in your mind? It's Microsoft Dynamics 365. Thanks for watching our special event. If you'd like to request a demonstration or get a quote for Microsoft Dynamics 365, we'd be happy to do it for you. Also, please comment, like, and subscribe. We love when you do that, and it lets us know that you like our videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Miriam Florio, and I hope to see you next time.